Hey, today we're going to be unboxing the first GMT in the Q Timex line, the Q Timex GMT on stainless steel with a red and blue bezel. Despite all the hype, this is not the first GMT you can get from Timex. In the current lineup, there's also a Waterbury GMT, which you can get on several configurations. Discontinued models include the Allied 3 GMT, the Timex 3 GMT, and the TX 730 flyback chronograph, which has the GMT function. Released in the 1970s, the Q has never been released with a GMT configuration before. Before the Q, Timex did, however, make the electric Dynabeat GMT, which is not quartz, but it still uses an electric battery. Inside the box, you can see we have some packing paper, the shipping info, and here we got the watch itself. A lot of times the boxes are a little scuffed, which is why they put the protective barrier on it. If you look at the bottom, we can see here that the movement is Swiss, the band is Chinese, and it was assembled in China. Here we have an info card, and here we have the watch itself. We have the warranty info on the bottom here. It does not contain any instructions. You got to go online for that. Here we have the watch. But before we try on this watch, let's look at what's on my wrist today. Today I'm wearing the Unimatic U1H GMT. It is 41.5 millimeters in diameter, 11.25 millimeters in height, and has a lug-to-lug of 49 millimeters. This is the first GMT ever released by Unimatic, and it's part of the set of 3 in the first collaboration between Unimatic and Hodinkee. All right, back to the Q Timex. Ooh, it's nice. There we go. Oh, that's pretty. It's shiny. It's got a mirrored finish on the top. Okay, if we look here, we got the Q Timex for Hodinkee. It's also mirrored finish on the top. I wear this all the time. I didn't realize that. Underneath it, we got a second piece of plastic on the dial. Plastic heaven. Oh, that's good. That's satisfying. Since this is a quartz watch, you can see it's already beating. The time is set to Eastern Standard Time. In the factory, they set the watch to Eastern Standard Time because of where I ordered it from, so it's going to be 8:10 p.m. And if we look here at my local time, it is 7:10 p.m. This watch is 38 millimeters in diameter with a classic stainless steel sloping case. This GMT watch is going to be 1 millimeter thicker than a regular Q Timex because of the GMT function. So it's going to be 12.5 millimeters instead of 11.5. The face is matte black, and these new Q Timex GMT watches are the first watches in this collection to have applied hour markers. It has a red GMT hand, a date at 3 o'clock, and there's lume on both the hour hand, the minute hand, all the markers, and on the GMT hand. There is none on the second hand or on the outside bezel. Bezel shows 24 hours and rotates in both directions. It has no fixed positions, and it does not have a screw down crown, so you can just pull it out as needed to set the time and operate the watch. The crown on this watch has 3 positions all the way in, 1 out for the date and the GMT hand, and 2 clicks out for the time. This is the first watch ever made by Timex with this new bracelet. It is solid stainless steel. Let's take the plastic off here. A lot of people complain about this older style Q Timex bracelet. This bracelet here is a lot more similar to another bracelet I have. Not quite the same, but very similar to the bracelet I have here on the Timex Hypebeast collaboration. Solid links, but it looks a little different. Let's take the plastic off of the bracelet. We have a tag here with an arrow to tell us how to do it, which really helps because last time I tried to do it on a stainless steel bracelet from Timex, I could not. Go figure. One more piece of plastic on the back. All Q Timex watches have a battery hatch so you can replace the battery yourself. Kind of a throwback to the early days of quartz watches. If you look at the buckle here, it compares very similarly to the Hypebeast. So I think that this watch being a limited edition, I think that they use it as an opportunity to try out different things for their upcoming GMT bracelet. Oh, it's another piece of plastic I missed. I'm right here on that. Oh yeah. That's nice. Nice. And here we have the tag. It says Timex, believe it or not. And on the back, it just has the model number, movement in Switzerland, Chinese bracelet. So now that we got this off, we don't need it anymore. Let's set the time. Like I said, the time is already set on this watch. Right now, Timex has the GMT hand and the local hand set to the same time zone. They set it to Eastern Standard Time at the factory, but I'm gonna set it to my local time. So let's pull out the second position and we're gonna pretend it hasn't been set. We're gonna go all the way around until we hit midnight. So let's keep going and let's go all the way around until we get to, the time is about 7:10 or 7:15, but let's set the date. The date wheel has a nice smooth operation. It almost like goes too fast. Right now it's about 12:20 GMT. I have this watch set to GMT, so let's set it to 12:20. The problem with a GMT hand that doesn't jump is it's kind of hard to figure out the alignment. So what we're going to do is before we set that, we're going to set our local time to be 7 p.m. at the time. So we're going to set it to it exactly on the hour, and then we're going to set the GMT hand to overlap with it. So now when we do that final step, we're going to set the local time. It'll naturally go along the way. If you don't want to do that, just be aware that if you go too far to one direction, it might look like it's a little half an hour off. Time to try on the watch. We're going to put this watch on and see how it fits. Okay, so there's a lot of extra space here. My wrists are about 7.5 inches, so this gives a lot of space. Looks like, I'm gonna guess 2 from each side. So let's do that. Looking at the inside of the band, we're gonna have to push the pin out the opposite way of the arrow. Oh, I got it. Okay, so I don't need a hammer for this one. When I adjusted the Hypebeast M79, this watch, I did need to use a hammer. I actually broke some of my push pins. So it looks like they've worked out some of the kinks in the process. What we're gonna do is remove a couple links from both sides. So we're gonna put this together and see how it fits. What you do when you put the pins back together is you go the opposite way. So if you remember, we pushed with the arrow to take it out. We're gonna push it against the arrow to put it back. And if you see here, we can see the pins. The pins are gonna be wider at one end, and we're gonna put the narrow end in first. Let's do that on the other side. I just found something out. I didn't know this. It has a quick adjust strap. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Bam. Pull it out that way. I didn't know that. Wow, look at that. Quick adjust strap. That would have made my life a little easier. I'm gonna work on it with the strap off. That's cool. And let's reconnect. So we're gonna add. I'm not sure how you're supposed to get those pins back in if you don't have a watchmaker's hammer. Like I said, I don't know that it's necessary. I'm sure you can probably push it against something soft, like a towel or something, but I'm just gonna use the tools I have. Here we go. We got the Q Timex GMT in stainless steel with a stainless steel bracelet and a blue and red bezel. Criticisms of the watch. 2 biggest criticisms I've seen online are that the bezel is smooth without any notches, and the GMT hand, as I showed earlier, doesn't have any jumps. It's not a jumping GMT hand. That means it requires an extra step to figure out how to line up the current hour and minute to the GMT time zone, whereas on a jumping hand, it takes care of that for you. Jump, jump, jump. On this, you have to do an extra step, like I said, start at the top of the hour and line it up, or just try to guess it. The other criticism I've seen online is that this watch is basically a knockoff of the Rolex GMT Master 2. Duh. Obviously, nobody cares. That one doesn't bother me, but what really bothers me, I just really wish there was a quick adjust on the bracelet. As you can see, it's not super easy to resize this bracelet, and now that summer is here upon us, I don't want to be taking out my tools every time I want to adjust this watch because my wrist is going to naturally swell and shrink throughout the hot summer days. But besides the fact this is an awesome watch with an unbeatable price for a GMT, I didn't get a chance to order the other straps to fit this model, but I look forward to using the quick adjust to swap out the straps with the bracelet soon. Pricing and availability. Although this watch isn't a limited edition, it is kind of hard to get right now. It goes for $199 on a strap and $229 on a bracelet. I really like the bracelet. Although I was not able to get them in time for this video, there are 2 other colors available for this watch. There is a solid black model, and the blue and black model is currently only available from Uncrate. So if you want to get that, sign up for the notification from the site. Do the same thing for Timex because Timex is doing a running availability of this watch right now, so they get a couple in every few days, and it's first come, first serve. So I got this when there was about 8 or 9 left, and it went back down to 0 for Uncrate. I did get a message for that watch, but I missed the email by about an hour, and it sold out by the time I get to it. So just be patient. I wouldn't recommend buying this from a high price on eBay or anything like that. Just sign up for the notifications and keep an eye on it. You'll get it soon enough. Thanks for watching, and if you're into GMT watches, I recommend checking out the Joe Preppy GMT limited edition by Bamford for Hodinkee, which I have on my channel as well. See you guys next time.